Hi there. This is a very short analysis of uh, Rubaiyat. Rubaiyat's actually a few quatrains of the Rubaiyat uh, by Omar Khayyam. And I guess I can move to Omar Khayyam without any further introduction because Omar Khayyam is somebody who was made popular by the English translations by Fitzgerald. And he's also somebody who's hailed as one of the Epicurean poets of all the centuries. And these quatrains, which are basically stanzas from 25 to 28, are also again dealing with the favorite theme of Khayyam, that life is transient and you seize the day, carpe diem, because tomorrow it's all gone. So why should you wait for a better tomorrow? Just live life, love life today, and make use of the opportunity. So maybe I'll just go through the poems. Why all the saints and sages who discussed of the two worlds so learnedly are thrust like foolish prophets forth, their words to scorn are scattered and their mouths are stopped with dust. O come with old Khayyam and leave the wise to talk. One thing is certain that life flies. One thing is certain and the rest is lies. The flower that once is blown forever dies. Myself when young did eagerly frequent doctor and saint and heard great argument about it and about, but evermore came out by the same door as I went. With them the seed of wisdom did I sow, and with my own hand labored it to grow. And this was all the harvest that I reaped. I came like water and like wind I go. So let's go through the lines a little bit more carefully. Why all the saints and sages who discussed of the two worlds so learnedly are thrust like foolish prophets forth. So Omar Khayyam starts by questioning the very audacity of the holy men who have discussed a lot about the world and also life after life. How much are they scorned and despised for the wise words which they scattered among the believers, after their death. So for Khayyam, as soon as life comes to an end, your wise words are equal to the dust to which you really, go back to. People do not really take your words into account after your death. So all the saints and sages are despised by the people after they are dead. Their words to scorn are scattered and their mouths are stuffed with dust, which means their mouths are silenced by dust. Everything comes to a standstill, their philosophy, their thoughts, their arguments with death. Now, even though there are arguments with which you can counter Khayyam, you should appreciate Khayyam for the way in which he kinds of laughs at the death, or he kind of laughs at the verbal display or the verbosity of certain people, who all finally lie in graves without being able to utter even a single word. And then in the next stanza, he entreats the readers to come, the listeners to come with Khayyam and to leave the wise men to talk. You come and do some action with Khayyam, action like, to love. One thing is certain, because life is something which quickly flies away. Life is transient and death is certain. So that is the only certainty in the world, and everything else are lies. So basically everything else is a lie, save death and the transience of life. And this is a famous quote of Khayyam. The flower that once is blown forever dies. The flower, it comes and stays for maybe a couple of days. Everybody admires its beauty, but no matter how beautiful it is, it has to fade and it has to die. Myself, when young, did eagerly frequent doctor and saint. So when I was very young, I used to talk and argue and listen to philosophers and holy men on several themes, including death, life, etc. But I could not really make out anything more than I already knew. So I came out by the same door as I went in, which means I did not really gain anything much more than what I already knew about the topics I discussed with them. So there was always a limit to the knowledge which they could impart to me. And again, maybe he underlines that there is no point in gaining more and more knowledge about things which really you cannot give a final answer to. For example, life after death. So you just come out by the same door as you go in. Within the seed of wisdom did I sow, so I sowed the seeds of wisdom, and I labored it to grow. I nourished it and nurtured it, and the harvest which I reaped of all the seeds of wisdom which I had sowed was, I came like water, and like wind I grew. Now, water and wind are two essential elements of nature, and you cannot really trace the beginning of the wind or the end of the wind. You cannot really trace the real original source of the waters. So, life is, such a thing, such a phenomenon which comes from an unknown place and goes to an unknown place. So you can keep on believing, discussing your faith ideas, your convictions regarding life and afterlife, but it's practically it is just like wind and water. You cannot really know the source, and you cannot really know where it goes to. Again, water is again something which brings into our mind the epitaph which was written on John Keats, who lived a very short life as a poet in English literature, but who wrote beautiful verses. On his epitaph, it was written, "Here lies one whose name was writ in water." That's actually something which he himself wanted to engrave on the as an epitaph on the tombstone. So basically, such kind of a transience you can always find in life. And again, the wind, maybe the reference is to Jesus saying, wherein he tells Nicodemus, again, a great teacher and philosopher. So it's basically two teachers talking with each other, and he says, life, it's just like the wind. You cannot really know from where it comes. You cannot know to where it goes. So practically, he talks about the spirit. And the spirit, according to biblical allusions, is basically that which gives life to your soul, to your body. So you cannot really trace the origins and the ends of life. So seize the day. So basically that is what Omar Khayyam hints at when he says, "I came like water and like wind I go." You come with Khayyam and you live life when you can, and leave the philosophers to discuss and debate and argue. In the end, their words will lie scattered just like their bodies are scattered in the dust.